Here is the bag itself that we will be attaching to the Raptor fender. And here it is next to my drill for a size comparison. Okay, and here is the metal washers that I used. These are stainless steel fender washers. I like the extra little insurance policy against corrosion of using stainless. It is a 1-inch outer diameter and 1/4 inch inner diameter, or OD and ID respectively. This is what it looks like in my hand. You put the plastic fender rivet through that hole, and then that way, when it has enough purchase on the inside of the bag is not going to be prone to ripping and tearing because we're distributing the weight evenly as far as the holding power is concerned of the fender washer. I would definitely say this is a critical step that you do not want to skip or miss, otherwise you could be potentially facing a failure of the bag as it starts to rip and tear. Okay, and so the way this works is we have this, which is the plastic rivet later on in this video. Because I'm an idiot, I keep calling it a washer, but rest assured when I'm referring to this, I'm referring to a rivet. Fender rivet, and then it has an expansion piece that goes in it. When it's in this position, it's normal and totally and completely fine. As soon as you push that button down, however, it expands like a hollow wall anchor. Exact same way that if you've ever done a drywall anchor and used any of those, it's the exact same idea. And these are extremely effective in plastic fenders. In fact, many of the factory bikes, as you probably know, use these in order to secure things like mud flaps, fender extensions, fender wells, even fenders themselves to the bike. A lot of times use these pop rivets. Then if you want to get this unstuck, you can simply pull that piece out of there. I don't want to tear my nails apart to do it, but you pull that middle piece out, this collapses back down, and then you can remove it that way. Again, super popular, and best part, super cheap. You can get a big package of these on Amazon or eBay, or pick your poison, for not a whole lot of dough. This is an excellent thing, in my opinion, to just simply go buy a bag of 100 of them and throw them on the shelf, because they actually come in handy quite often. Okay, now we're going to take the fender washers that we talked about earlier, and we're going to stick this rivet right in that washer. It just barely fits, nice and snug, which is exactly what we're looking for. Then what this is going to do is, when it's inside the bag, and then the bag is going to be just on the other side of this fender washer, and then the plastic fender itself of the bike is going to be out here. So we basically are sandwiching that, and then when this is sticking through the fender and we expand it, just like a hollow wall anchor, that's going to expand, bite onto the fender, give us a nice solid purchase, and then this fender will give us enough surface area so that we're not at risk of tearing or ripping the bag. One extra step I like to take is I will take a small torch like this one, and very lightly, not trying to catch anything on fire, I cut these straps off of this one because I didn't need the Molle straps that actually came on it. So I cut the straps and then hit them lightly with the torch, just to melt or cauterize, whatever you want to call those ends, so that they don't fray and it doesn't become a fraying problem. And then I do the same with these holes that I punched as well, so that they don't fray or unravel and stay solid for me structurally. So you are going to find yourself needing to punch 4 holes in this bag, in the 4 corners of the bag, in order to put the rivet through it. You can use a heavy-duty hole punch, like a leather punch works great for that. If you're very careful, you can use a X-Acto knife. Just be real careful that you don't make any long cuts that are going to run away with you and possibly set you up for a tear or a rip. What I personally use is I use this, which is a body reamer. In my past life, I was an RC racer, and we used these to ream precise holes in Lexan bodies. It's extremely effective at doing exactly that, but it's basically a little hand drill is what it really is, and it works great for that if you happen to have that tool. But Anything that you can use to punch that hole in the bag, again, just stay away from making any sharp angle cuts, because those are exactly the ones that will tear and continue to rip on you. So there's a little pro tip for you. If you happen to be an RC racer, go ahead and dig that out of your toolbox. The other piece, this one's a little beat up, so it's a little worse for wear, but it's all right. So this is a waterproof phone case. You can get these at Walmart or any fishing tackle store, anything like that. You can also get like the plano boxes that are for tackle. You know, the small waterproof ones that are a little bit bigger if you want to put a wallet in it or what have you. Obviously, the important thing is that it fits in here for an extra layer of protection if needed. And again, you can get a thicker one if you want to really fill this pouch out and put your wallet in or what have you. So now we've inserted the plastic rivets through the bag. The inside looks like this. And then that's ready for the retainer piece to get pushed in, which again will expand these pieces to make them bite into the fender and hold. So now we just got to mark our fender, drill some holes. Classic scenario of measuring twice and punching a hole once, I guess you'd say, instead of cut. So we'll do that. So I have a little tiny mark here with a Sharpie to give me an idea where I want to put this. I kind of mocked it up. Be smart about this, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you check the back side of your fender and you don't have anything back there that you don't want to hit or have to worry about punching through with the drill before you actually start cutting into your fender. What I personally like to do is I like to get a spring-loaded punch and punch these holes to put in a little divot to give me a guide for my drill so that my drill is not walking all over the plastic. Just be careful if you do that in extremely cold weather, although extremely rare. Sometimes a punch like this can actually shatter or crack a fender rather than punching a hole in it if it's extremely, extremely cold. So you Canadians out there, be forewarned in the winter months. It's one of those classic scenarios where you can take it away, but you can't put it back. So I suggest you start with a small hole, test fit it, and then gradually auger it out as needed until you get a really tight fit. You don't want it to be loose if you can help it at all. You want it to be something that the plastic fender rivet really bites into the fender, which is going to require a hole as small as possible while still allowing it to pass through. So it looks a little something like this. Now that's not going anywhere. That thing is solid. That thing is solid, not going anywhere. Backside is super clean. Just a couple of expanded rivets. Fully popped in, you can see it there. That has been successfully popped in and expanded on the backside. And here is the backside, as you can see, very clean. Not a lot of hardware, nothing really obtrusive at all on the backside. Just those plastic expansion rivets. And there she is, completed product. Nice and sano on the fender there, nice and level. And now we can just unzip this. Once you put your phone or personal belongings in here, put that in there. And you've got yourself a nice little Molle bag. And if you really wanted to, you could go ahead and put something on there like a carabiner or anything you need. It's a little bit of a stretch, but it's there if you needed it. But again, this is part of the fender. It is going nowhere. We personally have ridden with this little system that I kind of created on all of our bikes for thousands of miles in all reality, and never had a failure of any kind, never had a pouch fall off, never lost any valuables out of them. It's worked pretty slick, so I hope it works slick for you as well. Here's the same setup on my son's Raptor 700. As you can see, this one's been a little bit more war-torn, but same idea. This one's a thicker box so that he can use that for his wallet, phone. We ride a lot of poker runs. Sometimes the poker runs have scorecards you need to keep handy, but also keep dry. And so in those situations, that really comes in handy, especially since we do a lot of wet, muddy riding. Here's another one on my 700. Excuse the fact that it's filthy, but you get the idea. Here's my daughter's Raptor 250. And as you can see, same exact system. And we really dig it. Okay, so thank you for watching. There is the final product on Mama Bear's bike. She's going to dig that. That's going to be a place for her to put her poker run scorecards, her cell phone, mascara, well, who knows. Whatever she wants in there for her rides, and that will serve her well. So hopefully you enjoyed this little video and you're going to do this project yourself and it will turn out great and you will dig it. So thanks again for watching. Appreciate it. Have a great day. Ride safe, ride hard.